Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today we are already talking about the Epic Games Store again. It's only been a couple of days and we're already talking about it again. And if you missed my video talking about the Epic Games Store in detail and every little thing going on with it, at the end of the video I'll leave an annotation for it so you can go see that. But long story short, Epic Games, the people that are making Fortnite and stuff like that, are making their own storefront like Steam. They're trying to be a competitor with Steam, and they were also, the big thing about it was they were giving developers 88% of the money and they would only keep 12. So Valve takes about 30%, and then they recently made some things where if you sold 5 million copies, maybe you could have a bigger share of the money you're making. But overall, they take about 30%. And it seemed like this really promising thing. You know, competition's always good, and it was good that we were getting some actual competition to Steam. And in the video a couple days ago, I talked about how good that is, and this might be one of the first times we might see competition with Steam so much where Steam's having to worry. And bad news is the Epic Games Store is already doing some super anti-consumer things. So the 88% share, that's awesome. That's great for developers. That's great for everybody. I mean, making it where they take less money and the developers get more money, that's just a win-win for everybody. I mean, that's amazing, you know. And then Epic gets more customers to their store. They get more developers wanting to put their stuff. It's just a win-win. That's great. But what I'm talking about today is apparently the Epic Games Store is paying for exclusives. And what I mean by that is I don't mean first-party exclusives, because it makes 100% sense if you don't want to put your first-party exclusives on other platforms. So Epic Games Store, they have Fortnite. Of course, Fortnite is not going to come out on Steam because it's Epic's game. They're going to put it on their own launcher. That's perfectly fine with all the Blizzard games. So World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, I can understand why those wouldn't be on Steam or something like that, because they're first party. You know, Valve's games, Valve isn't going to put their games anywhere besides Steam, and I understand that. But what we're talking about is the exclusivity of third-party games. So a game, as an example, Super Meat Boy Forever. So the new Super Meat Boy game that's coming out in 2019, sometime early 2019, instead of it coming out on Steam and maybe also the Epic Games Store, Epic is paying them money to have it be a year-long exclusive for the Epic Games Store. So this is just a timed exclusive where you can, if you want Super Meat Boy Forever in the first year it comes out, you have to get it on the Epic Games Store, and that's really, really stupid. Eventually it'll come to Steam, which is better than nothing, but they're just paying for exclusivity, and that's not... And I mean, that's so anti-consumer. It's literally, they're just throwing money at things. Competition doesn't work when there's not actual competition, because, you know, if we had all of the games and all the different platforms, then it could be like, okay, cool, that could make sense. You know, it makes sense because you're choosing what platform you want and there's healthy competition. And Valve has taken a very open approach. I mean, with the Vive and the VR stuff that was happening when Oculus Rift, they were paying for exclusives. Valve was giving money out for free to indie developers that were making VR games, so they wouldn't have to take Oculus's deals. They didn't expect them to have it be a Steam exclusive or anything like that. They just didn't want people to have exclusive stuff like that. And the Epic Games Store is just paying for exclusives. And one of the big ones we saw was a game called Satisfactory. It was in like an alpha on Steam. It had a Steam page and everything, and it has been delisted on Steam, and now they're saying it is an Epic Games Store exclusive. So we don't know whether these will be timed exclusives or full-on exclusives, but it shows that the plan was for it to be on Steam, and then Epic paid them money. We also have games Genesis Alpha 1, and that is possibly going to be a timed exclusive. We know it's going to be an exclusive. They said it's not launching on Steam on January 29th, 2019, so because they put in that date, it sounds like it'll be, you know, a timed exclusive. We have a game Rebel Galaxy Outlaw that said it's going to have a year-long timed exclusive. So it seems like the biggest thing Epic is doing is these year-long exclusive deals, which obviously isn't as bad as full-on exclusives, but it's literally Epic just throwing their Fortnite money at companies and saying, make your games exclusive to ours. And I want to make a point. It's different when a big company helps and pays money for the development, because some games are obviously in development and, you know, they could use money and stuff like that. So it's one thing if it'd be like, okay, we're gonna help kind of invest in your game and you just have it be an exclusive on our platform, and I can kind of understand that because sometimes games wouldn't exist without stuff like that. But with Satisfactory, it was already on Steam. It was in alpha. There's still more development to be done, but it was already on Steam, and it's being delisted off Steam and put onto the Epic Store. So it's not like this company was struggling and trying to find a way to make it into an okay way to put it on Steam and stuff like that, and Epic Games came and saved them. No, it was a game that was in development that, yeah, maybe could use the money, but exclusivity is not how you do this. This is super anti-consumer, and you know, I think Epic will actually be some competition to Steam because they can just throw money at it. If they just keep throwing money at all of these different companies and all these games are exclusives or timed exclusives on the Epic Game Store, people might be forced to use the Epic Game Store if you want to play a game that's on there and you don't want to wait a year, or if it's a full exclusive, you might not even have a chance to play it on Steam. So it might end up being competition to Steam, but not in the good way. It's throwing money to get exclusives is not fun. It's and like I said, it's not first-party exclusives. These are third-party exclusives that aren't being developed by Epic, and Epic is just paying the money saying only be on our platform, and it's super anti-consumer and it's stupid. And I've seen some backlash to it, but I don't see Epic doing anything, you know, different. And I like I said, I love competition. Competition's great. I'd love for something to push Steam and Valve to do better with Steam, but anti-consumer stuff like this is not the solution, unfortunately. But overall, that's really it to the story. There's not much I can talk about just because it's, you know, just Epic throwing money at games and getting exclusives, so there's not much I can rant about in that. But if you guys have any opinions on this, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them all. If you guys enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below, subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.